Now, ladies and gentlemen, this impact was actually quite good. Being in Texas, not much different from the WWE, we had a very good crowd this time. I can say this crowd was actually very good. Now, the reason I'm bringing in the crowd early is because, as a fan myself, seeing the opening of the show made me extremely happy. Taz has been banned. Sorry for the noise. Taz has been banned from TNA and being a colored commentator. Yes! I have been sick and tired of Taz. Look, I used to love Taz on commentary. I had no problem with Taz when he was in WWE. Went to TNA, he wasn't that great. Particularly right before the Aces and Eights came out, he seemed to have lost interest. He just seemed to act stupid, talking, I got a boil on my ass. Things like that turned me off. I am so hoping that Taz has now been permanently banned from color commentating. I'm tired of seeing it. So seeing Jeremy there is excellent. I have now begun to tolerate Mike TNA. Mike still doesn't have that much energy, but it's a big dynamic difference with having Jeremy there. And that's what I wanted to say as a fan of the business. Now I'm going to move on to the beginning, middle, and end of the show, and they're not going to be in order as usual. I can say this for Bad Influence. I have loved them. I have loved their commentating. I have loved them just doing work in the ring. Just interacting with each other. But seeing this, one against the other, and that now TNA is allowing people to choose who is in Bound for Glory is actually a very interesting concept, if they're actually doing it. If they are, I got no problem with it. But seeing a Kazarian against a Christopher Daniels, it kind of worries me, because right now we have two guys that are very good together as a tag team. And this could break them up completely. Seeing the opening of the show talking about August surprise, well, the August 1 warning. They opened the show with that, which I found was very interesting. I was very happy about it. I was very concerned when I heard that they're going to have their match next week. I'm not fond of seeing these two go up against each other where there could be a point where they actually could break off. We've lost Beer Money. We lost Dirty Heels. Bad Influence is the two good heels that really do work better together than separate. If they break up after this, I'm not going to be very fond of it. But I'm going to try and hold some hope they won't break up. They'll just do what they got to do, and then they'll just go back to the way they were. Now, I'm going to go to the Austin Aries segment with Robert Roode and what's going to happen later in the night. Seeing Austin Aries, the one who opens the show in the ring, was actually good. Seeing him talk about Sabin, they need to get Sabin over, and that was okay. Seeing that he's talking about his match with AJ Styles, saying that AJ had put TNA on his back, and he'd been carrying them for 10 years, and he's the one that wants to carry it for the next 10, is a very good way to try and say, look, we have an established star here. We need to get the next one ready. AJ still can be the mainstay of TNA for another 5 years or so, but they need to get the next one ready. Austin Aries could be that guy, and I believe he could be. So seeing that, it was actually good. Seeing what happened with a Robert Roode going back to his roots, saying that I am the it factor, I am the one who started the selfish generation, I am the #1 greatest wrestler there is. I was okay with it until the match with Superman. Superman's match with him wasn't a bad match, but seeing him pull out the beer bottle, really? I know some people will say, hey, he needs to go back to the way he was before, so in a sense that's a reset. But on a Superman, who really is a mid-carder at best, I ain't seen anything good there. Using the beer bottle was not the best thing for a Robert Roode. I don't believe it was. I believe it was a quick, cheap heat for him. And I do not believe that was going to really benefit him later in the BFG series. That's just my opinion about it. I just don't see anything good about this. I don't. Now, you know what? I was going to talk about the Austin Aries and AJ Max now, but I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to do it later. I'm going to talk about the Joseph Park and Jay Bradley match. Now I really feel that this is still going on with the split personality of Joseph Park. Having an Eli there kind of makes me feel like around 2002 or 2003, Kane removed his mask. And it was a Rob Van Dam that was there. Who was there to see it? I personally believe that this is a bite off of that. This isn't about taking the mask off of Abyss. This is about putting it on. This little bit about Joseph Park putting on that helmet, that's for boxing, for sparring. This makes me feel like this is the beginnings of the end of the Joseph Park character, where he is going to start showing more bits of Abyss, and they're going to use Eli as the catalyst for Abyss to fully return and for Joseph Park to go away. Like I said earlier, seeing Kane take that mask off with Rob Van Dam present, and then Kane slamming the shit out of Rob Van Dam, makes me feel that this is supposed to be that. Now, did it match in the match? No, we didn't see any blood, but we did see Joseph Park win, and he now has 3 points, negative 3 points. Now, in the BFG series, he came up from 10 negative to 3 negative. I still believe that the Abyss character is about to come back, but they really need to do it in a way that will get rid of the Joseph Park character. This is the best way I see it to be done. Is it great storytelling? No, but at least it's something. Now, I'm going to move on to the ODB and Gail Kim match. I really had no interest in it. Look, I know Gail Kim can work in the ring alright. I know ODB is not bad in the ring. But I believe that Fool Killer 99 said it best. ODB has not progressed her character. She's only a big-titted woman in the ring acting trashy. That's what she is. Now, she's played off on it very well, and even during the match, many people still liked her that way. But it would have been better for her to progress herself. And seeing this with a Gail Kim, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Gail Kim has now done the same thing twice. And this is where we're really lacking in the knockouts. There is no Singer Terrence Terrell. There is no Miss Tessmacher. Mickey Jane wasn't there. That's 3 of the roster they have that's left. Who else do they have that can go out and perform? Tell me. Taylor Hendricks isn't there. Tara isn't there. They have only 3 remaining knockouts. They have no knockouts division. It is sad to see this. That they had to pull ODB off, who was better off as a ref than as a wrestler. It's sad. Now I'm going to move on to the Aces and Eights and the Main Event Mafia. I want to get this over with. I could leave this at the end of the show, but I thought it's better to do this because of my thoughts about the 2 last matches I really want to talk about. The Main Event Mafia giving a ultimatum to Aces and Eights. Look, when Hardcore Justice comes around, we're going to have a 5-on-5 match. The one who it didn't say submit. The one who loses that match will be banned from TNA forever. That one person. This makes me wonder, what the hell is going to happen? This is the beginning and end of Aces and Eights going away. Because the best person that would be going would be Mr. Anderson. But we need Mr. Anderson. We don't have that much talent. So I have to take a guess. It's going to be one of the other 4. But the question here is this. How does Tito Ortiz fit into this? As we already know, Tito Ortiz was basically teased as the August 1 warning. And when you see the ending of the show, and we see Rampage Jackson all pissed off as fuck, and I remember that at one point Rampage Jackson, and you guys tell me below, I hadn't really kept up a lot with MMA and UFC. I have over the years. But those two have met each other at least more than once. If it wasn't for the title at the time, it was in regular match. In a regular MMA match. And as far as I know, Ortiz at least once or twice got over on Rampage. At least once. So I don't know where they're going to go with this. Rampage is not ready to go in the ring and be a wrestler. And I doubt Ortiz is either. Unless they're hyping this to go outside TNA, because you saw what happened with King Mo. We have not seen King Mo at all. And he's going for the light heavyweight champion title. I mean, this is where I believe they're trying to hype regular MMA and UHC fighters or Bellator fighters and other things. And I believe this isn't right. If I'm wrong, fine. You guys tell me below. I don't look at the cheat sheets. I don't look at that. I try to see it from a certain perspective beyond a casual fan, but just a little below a mark. I'm trying to find the right position for me personally. But seeing these two together makes me feel like the only reason Rampage is there is to hype a match that these two will probably have in an MMA or Bellator ring. That's just me. You guys tell me below. But it is an interesting concept to see. Now, I'm moving on to the segment of Aces and Eights showing Brooke Hogan. Now, I could have put this earlier, but I'm saying it like this. Seeing all 6 of them in the back, that's nothing. But seeing that Brooke is brought back out again as a tease again, and hearing basically, you better free me or else you're going to lose your shot. I don't know what that make to that. I don't. I've said this already about Brooke Hogan. It's not the point if this woman is good or not. If you're putting her in a major storyline, no matter if it sucks or not, she's needed to be having a stronger presence. If she's a piece of shit on the mic, it makes no difference. You need to have her there to be a piece of shit on the mic. If she's excellent on the mic, she needs to be there to be excellent on the mic. Having her periodically being seen like this, some people would say, hey, it's alright, but honestly it's not. Because she's needed a lot more than that. And I just don't believe they have a faith in her. But they need her to be there. This doesn't make any sense, hearing the free me, or you're going to have a problem with your belt, your match for the belt. Just, I don't get it. Now, I am moving on to the last matches of the night. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything. No. Champion versus champion. Manic versus Sabin was the second best match of the night. I thought it was going to be the best match of the night, but I was wrong. But the reason they did this with Sabin, this is my opinion. The reason they did this is that we already know that Sabin's not going to be there long. He's a transitional champion, and I finally said that correctly. And I have one last thing to say about, one thing to say about the Ultimate X match. I know in my last Impact review, I said I didn't care about Trent Beretta, which is Greg. I just didn't care about him. The only reason I didn't care about him because I knew that he wasn't going to win. Of course, we all didn't win. How do I believe he did in that match? He did pretty well for someone who's never been in that type of match. I do agree with Fool Killer 99. I do. It's just that at that moment, I felt like it's not the point of if he did good or not. My focus was on Duff and on Manic. So to get to this match, Manic and Sabin was a very good match. And they did this for Sabin. Sabin needed to be with someone he knew very well. He needed to be able to put on a very good show for the Texas crowd. And the Wichita, I'm believing I'm pronouncing it, Wichita Falls crowd was hot for this match. Just like the next one. But how do I feel about this match? It was very good. And it's good for Sabin. And this also hypes into their steel cage match because of what Bully Ray did after the match. Sabin does win. And Bully Ray tries to kick his ass. Sabin repels him. Is it great storytelling? No. But it is good for Sabin. I don't expect Sabin to last very long with that belt. Maybe between 4 to 6 months. And that's going far. My guess is he'll last maybe 5 months. Maybe 5 before he loses it. But it's not the point how long he keeps the belt. It shows a difference in TNA. Unlike WWE, who always wants big guys. TNA has always been varied. Look at AJ Styles. He's been in the title scene for years. And he won that title at one point, I believe. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But it shows that anybody can win that. And even though Saban doesn't have the charisma or the really great mic skills, it's not the point because you can always compensate. So I'm moving on to the Austin Aries and AJ Styles match, which was the match of the night. I can say this. We have never seen them before together. At least not in recent time. But they done very well. That match was so good. It really didn't matter who won it. AJ and I thought it was going to be a draw. That's how I felt. I thought it could have gone as a draw like Samoa Joe and AJ. But seeing that Austin Aries had to just drape his arm over AJ and then lift his other arm just to make sure he got the pin was actually very good to end. Yes, Austin Aries won the match. But honestly, either one could have won it and it would have still been alright. But I have to agree with Full Killer. I know I'm saying a lot about Full Killer. But in this case, I do agree with him that AJ needs to be either a face or a heel. In between doesn't seem to be working. When I see AJ, I can see him still doing the high-flying spots as a total destructive heel. But I'm not getting that from him. He keeps showing signs of trying to be in between, and it's not working. I just don't feel right. I just don't. This dark persona, when he first started out, was more heelish. But now, when they try to make him more center, it just doesn't feel correct. It doesn't. What he did with Hardy, walking away, it probably would have been better if he had just hit Hardy and cursed him out or spit on him than just walking away. I really thought that was right, that what he did, and at that time it really did kind of feel right. But having to reflect back and hearing Full Killer and also seeing Mr. Parkin's review as well just makes me feel that there's a really big problem with AJ's character. It's not working. I hope they can tweak it before Bound for Glory, but do I believe that? No. So how do I feel about this show? A B. Taking away from ODB and Gail Kim, and I know the Joseph Park bit is not that interesting. It's not, but it is progressing a bit. It's still a good B show. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane view and subscribe and comment to my channel. Give me a thumbs up once in a while, and I hope to see you soon. You have a good weekend.